Hey guys, today is brought to you by the letter F for food. And I know I promised you guys that if you were a foodie, you don't want to miss this episode. And after listening to this, you're probably going to want to wish that you did not listen to
I'm
this
not
episode.
gonna lie, dude. This list of all these weird foods are just filled with like the most diverse level of diarrhea I've seen in my entire life. Like some of this shit does not even seem edible.
I don't know, man. I feel like some of these I kind of want to try because when we talk about it a little bit later, there's a chance that you might die. And also, a lot of it's disgusting too. But
Dude, but do
yeah,
you want to try because it looks good? There's no way that some of this stuff looks good to you. Like
no, no,
it's more
no.
about the thrill. It's more about the weird fleck. It's more about being like if I told somebody that like, dude, I ate like tarantula, like a tarantula whole. There's no way that that person's gonna think I'm like, oh yeah. No, he ate that because he genuinely likes tarantula. It's more about the fact that like this dude's fucking crazy. He might be a badass, and he ate a whole damn spider.
So later on, we're going to talk about something and it's going to ruin candy for someone. So let's just hopefully people look forward to that. But yeah, so have you ever heard of balut?
Yeah, yeah, literally, like, yeah, I just heard of it actually today.
Okay. So for people that don't know what it is, it's a fertilized egg that was boiled and then it's just before it's about to hatch. They end up like eating it, and so the yolk is still kind of oozing and all that stuff. And it's a delicacy in the Philippines. And so they cook it whenever the fetus is anywhere from like 17 to 21 days. And so it's, if you haven't, like whenever we talk about something, I would encourage everyone to kind of open up the internet. I don't know, that to me that sounds kind of weird. Just open up the internet, whatever. Just
Open up the
Google. Yeah, Google. I don't know why I said open up the internet.
like
Just
you entered the matrix. Access the matrix, please.
yeah, I don't know. That just sounds really weird. Anyway, just Google balut, and it's Balut. And again, if you're squeamish, still look at it anyway because
Yeah, let's
you
go
need
ahead
to
and do
know what
it.
this looks like. Um, so it's I don't know it. I don't think I would eat this. I would definitely love to be around it just to smell it because my nose. And for people who don't know, I love smelling things, and I want to know what each and every one of these smell like. But I don't think this would smell very good.
Dude, it just honestly like I'm kind of the opposite. Like I have my nose is sensitive to smells, but like I'm a person that doesn't vomit very often. But if something smells putrid enough, bro, like I'm gonna be like yak everywhere. Like yeah, I don't even care. Like it can be as bad as like you know, like for example when you make chicken and you have that like that pad that absorbs all like the blood and fat,
Mm-hmm.
and you put that in the trash and leave it there for like a day or two and don't take it out. That smell, dude, that's enough to fucking flatline me. So I can only imagine
Mm.
on balut. Like this thing would probably kill me.
So let's do this. Do you think this is my personal spin to this? We're gonna add this. Would you add hot sauce and eat to it? Do you think you would add hot sauce to this and be able to eat it?
Dude, it doesn't change it. Like, put it this way. All right, so I don't know if you guys or you can subscribe to this, but like I'm one of those people where once I know what something is and I get a mental, it sounds dumb, but it makes sense. Once you get a mental taste of what something's going to taste like, I cannot untaste that even if I bite into the object itself. Like if I think something's going to taste disgusting, maybe even if it doesn't, but I already in my pre like I have a preemptive kind of like I just looks like it's garbage, and I eat it, I'm automatically going to taste that or taste already that I've already formed an opinion on. So hot sauce wouldn't do the trick for me. If you tricked me into eating it, like for example, I remember one time I inadvertently ate cow tongue, and if you had told me that you're eating cow tongue, I would have started tasting all these tastes that really probably don't exist. But the fact that I was tricked into eating it, it was the greatest thing ever. It was like it was delicious.
Yeah. So I don't think I can trick you with a bird out of an egg. Like there's no way I can be like, hey, that's a cow. Like just eat it. You know, it may look like a bird, but it's a really really deformed cow. Like no, there's no way I could trick you with this. Unfortunately, I think.
Yeah, this one, this honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this one just looks like it tastes like shit and sounds like it tastes like shit. So it's gonna be a super strong pass for me. So
So
I
yeah.
got something for you guys that's gonna probably make everyone get a little squeamish. You know, so white ant eggs from Laos. I'm probably butchering it. Laos, Laos,
Laos,
Laos, Laos.
Laos,
Okay,
Laos.
so this is exactly what it sounds like: white ant eggs. So the description goes: one of the world's more unusual meals, or mixture of ant eggs and partial embryos from a white ant, plus a few baby ants to add sourness. So if your
Mm.
stomach can handle it, it's something that is actually eaten in this country. That sounds like people were struggling and had no other options but to eat it, and then it was just widely accepted.
Yeah, that's not really appetizing to me, and I think I'm gonna add the not would not add hot sauce and not eat it. I don't think hot sauce can.
But what is it with hot sauce? Does hot sauce just make everything better for you?
Yeah, I feel like hot sauce is like my go-to default, like um, like condiment. Like so. If Gordon Ramsay ever hears this, he's probably gonna fucking kill me. But if there was something, let's just think that if Gordon Ramsay had something that I did not like and I put hot sauce on it, it would be better. He would probably kill me, but I feel like I would do that.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of eating the meal? Because now you're just tasting hot sauce. So like if you're gonna go balls to the wall and be like,
Mm,
yo, I'm about to eat these white ant eggs, you might as well eat them. Not like go half ass.
that's true.
You know, be like, I'm just gonna put a little hot sauce. No, dude, you want to taste the disgustingness that is your meal. You know, or don't eat it at all. You know, like if I
Hmm.
were to do it, trust me. Like, not, by the way, people, I would not eat any of these things. Like I'm not gonna lie to you and act like I'm a cool guy and eat all of it. Hell no. But if I were to do it, I wouldn't put a condiment on it because it feels like it's kind of like
Like
half-assed.
disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful. It's like people that, for example, say, "Oh, I read a lot," but they listen to audiobooks. Do you? Do you? It's like half-assed. It's like I guess technically, but not really. It's like you ate a white ant egg, but it was dipped in hot sauce and you put it in cheese. Did you really eat it?
Yeah. Mm,
You know, it
mm.
is what it is, but it just seems like I wonder if any. Can you imagine? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is gonna be very disgusting, but like, can you imagine the shit that you would take after some of this stuff?
Yeah, I think that you would probably not. You would probably have a natural way to clean yourself. It's you actually you know what, you're paying to poo. That's what you're doing.
It is. I mean, could the human body evolve to handle this stuff? Because think about it. Like back in the day, when we were hunters and gatherers, like it wasn't like we had all these things we have today, where we have Chipotle and Taco Bell and McDonald's. Like we had to probably eat some things now that we're probably sensitive to. You know, like
Hmm.
back in the day, like when people, I guess, like before, like this discovery of fire. You know, I don't know, was it the Neanderthals or the ones that are ancestors that were the first ones to pick up stick and stone and throw it at something and then cook it. But anyway,
Monkeys.
what what did they eat before? Like, dude, I'm pretty sure they were eating berries. They probably were just eating things raw. Like, but their stomachs were probably built to handle it. So I'm wondering if over the years we've become more pussy. Like the stuff that
Mm.
would make us vomit now and be like, oh God, it's gross. Back then, we'll probably be like, yeah, bro, that's my breakfast.
Yeah, I think that because we have so many options like nowadays, and a lot of it's like, you know, whenever you go anywhere, there's a fast food joint everywhere you go. It's like you have to find like certain places that aren't fast food. Like obviously like local stuff and all that, but like there's fast food literally anywhere you go. And it's just so easy and accessible. I think that a lot of people just go to that as a first choice.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've been conditioned to. I honestly think that we're less, like our culinary palates are probably less durable than they used to be because we have options. You know,
Hmm.
like back in the day, like think about like something like
Mm.
Netflix, for example. Like now, how many times have you been in a situation where you're like, yo, I am determined to find a TV show or watch a movie tonight, right? And then
Hmm.
you go on like Hulu, Netflix, or HBO or whatever the case is, and then you're like, you have so many options, you end up watching nothing. It's almost like the same thing with food where we have so many options nowadays. Like I just think our stomach just aren't. I don't know. I just think our stomachs they're too accustomed to the finer things in life. So when we eat something that probably is not as bad as we make it think it is, we just can't handle it. Like I mean, I because I back in the day they didn't have all these things. So how did we survive back then if we aren't if it's nothing but just conditioning?
Yeah, like an evolution, like essentially they ate like buffalo 24/7, not
To be
24.
honest,
You
I mean,
know?
to be honest, is it evolution though? If you can handle less, technically, it's almost like you've lost something. So it'd almost be similar to de-evolution, if
Mm.
that's a word. I think probably just made up a word, but like it
No,
almost
I think you're like de-evolving like Pokemon. Like,
yeah, like we're regressing. That's the word I'm looking
mm,
for. Like we're regressing. Like for example, like the amount of diseases and stuff that like for example, in certain cases, like we've evolved in the amount of fact of like we can handle more diseases. Like back in the day, diarrhea was a death sentence. You get diarrhea and would die of dehydration. Nowadays, it's a mild inconvenience. So
Yeah,
we
I feel like.
evolved to handle that.
hmm I feel like
But
when
now,
when you got diarrhea, you just I feel like you just eat a popsicle, get hydrated, and then you're good to go.
yeah, dude, or even eat a banana, whatever. Get that potassium, get your potassium game back up, and then you're solid. But like
Mm.
back then, so the same thing with food. Like we've gone the opposite, where like we have to cook everything and it has to be salted. In your case, you got to throw hot sauce on it, otherwise you die.
Mm.
Back then, we're like, yo, I just caught a buffalo. I'm about to bite into this thing right now. Not cooked. Let's go.
Yeah.
We probably had bacteria and stuff in our stomach. Like, mind you, this is all bro science. So I'm making this shit up. I'm just assuming, you know, like I'm assuming that they had bacteria and stuff in their stomach to handle that. But like as we've, I guess you could say, quote unquote, evolved, we now can't handle these basic things. So like things like white ant eggs, or even the stuff you're talking about with the one you previously mentioned. It's like at one point in time, I do think that human beings probably could have ate that without like shitting themselves or vomiting.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Um, so the next one that I have on my list is puffer fish, and I think it's called fugu. I I hope I'm not butchering that. And I thought that I had looked it up beforehand, but I guess not. But it's located in Japan, and so this is the one that I'm really excited. I think I would try it. It's kind of like playing Russian roulette, but with food. Um, so the skins on the inside contain a poisonous toxin called tetrodotoxin. Tetrodotoxin. And it's so I've read, and I don't know exactly where this is in terms of how powerful or more powerful it is compared to cyanide. And I've seen ranges anywhere from like 100 to 1250 times more powerful than cyanide. So
Dude, you could
let's just
basically.
say that it's more powerful than cyanide. Okay.
So
So
does this thing even remotely taste good, or is it yet again another thrill? Like I'm gonna eat this fish, and if I die, then that's it. But if I don't, I'm basically John Wick.
so so this is how they like prepare it, I think. So body parts have the toxin in it, like the ovaries, the kidneys, the skins, the eyes, and stuff like that. But what happens if you eat it, you end up becoming paralyzed and you die from asphyxiation, which is essentially like you don't have
Wait,
you have a
so if it's not properly cooked and you eat it,
no. I think if you eat the part that has um, the poison in it, because the
you're not supposed to eat the poison. I thought that was the whole
no,
thing.
no, 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 no. I think the way so when I said Russian roulette, it's more so of if the chef doesn't cut it right and he gets a part that's not or that has poison in it and you eat it, you might die.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more about the fact that like you eat like he cooks it and
No.
he cooks it to the point where the poison is almost like as dumb as it sounds like negated to a certain degree. You eat
Mhm.
it and you can survive a little minute dose of it. I didn't realize it's like no, you just can't have the poison at all.
No, 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 no. So this is what it said. It said that the best fugu chefs leave enough poison so it tingles the lips and gives one taste of fragility of life. So
Okay, so there's poison in it. Yeah.
some do. I guess some chefs do leave a little bit of poison, but I think that you're not supposed to eat it, obviously, because it's like way more powerful than cyanide.
Hmm.
But it said that the chefs. So this is the part that is very very interesting. So the chefs they have to train like I think about 11 years to become a fully fledged like fugu chef. Um, so that's like a tenth of your life dedicated to
I mean, it
preparing
seems
this
like
fish.
such a pointless skill to have. Like I'm gonna just go spend a decade of my life to learn how to properly cook this fish so I don't kill people.
Yeah,
Like
but it's I feel like that's cool, man. Like you just go in there and then you pray that your chef is knows what he's doing. Because if
how much
not,
anxiety do these chefs have? Like imagine like you spend your decade, right? So imagine the first time you ever like you've spent your decade of training, right? You go to the restaurant and you're preparing your first pufferfish meal. The amount of anxiety you would have to be like, yo, this is my first time actually doing it. If I kill these motherfuckers, my career is over before it starts.
so this is the weird part too. So what they do, they just wash off the toxin with water.
See,
It's
that's a strong non for me, bro. I'm like, you're just gonna pour some water on that and expect me not to be concerned?
So I guess all the edible parts that you can't eat, they're just like, let me just dabble some water in it, and hopefully all the toxins are gone. If not,
Dude,
we're playing Russian roulette.
man, it seems yet again that seems like a cool story. Like I won't lie to you, this so far this is the only one that I'd actually try. One because it's fish, because like I mean at the end of the day, fish. To me, I mean this is dumb, but like and probably ignorant to say, but like to me all fish taste the same. I'm not one of those like super, have a super fancy palate where like I can tell this is a flounder versus this being a red whatever.
Mm.
Like to me, all fish tastes the same if you cook it pretty much the same. So I'm assuming that I would be able to at least eat and ingest this. But this one would be actually pretty cool. This would be the one that like I wouldn't have a hard time getting past the remember like the
The
pre-mental
taste.
image
Yeah.
and the taste. Because
Yeah.
half the battle of some of these things are just the taste. Like eating a white ant egg and embryo, that texture, the taste probably is gonna stop you halfway from even ingesting it. But like with this fish one, you just I would assume that like you cut the piece of fish, right? You eat it,
Hmm.
swallow it. You give yourself like 5 minutes to see if you're gonna die, and if you're still alive, you're like, all right, that's it. I guess I'll take another bite.
So for cost wise, it says it's anywhere from 1,000 yen to 50,000 yen per kilo. So that's about, I think, if I haven't checked the rates for the conversions, but it's like $10 to $50 per kilogram.
So the
So
question, people, are you willing to risk your life for $50?
that's a yes for me. I think I would want to do it. This
Man,
is
I'm gonna
this
be.
is
I'm
this
gonna.
is
I'm gonna have to double down on that, dude. That'd be a yes for me. Honestly, like I would do it. I would.
hmm. So these poisonous organs, they're placed in like special bags, and they're kept underneath like some lock or something, and then from there they're disposed like in a radioactive waste. Like that's how poisonous it is. So it says
Sheesh.
that they're
Is it one of those
disposed
things
of
like,
like this radioactive waste in a special incinerator.
can it get on your hands? Like, is it one of those things like, remember, like, what?
Uh,
Is it one of those things like it gets on your hands and you like wipe your face or like I don't know, like for whatever reason you lick your fingers, like a psychopath, and
mm,
then would you die from it? Because remember that pepper, the
mhm.
what is it, the Carolina Reaper? Like it's
Yeah.
so like it absorbs into pretty much everything. So we had a friend that had to do he lost a bet and he had to eat was it two Carolina Reapers?
No, it was like more. I want to say it's like four,
Well, he
four or
only well, he
five.
only ended up eating like two, right? I don't
Yeah, I
think he
think
did.
so. Hmm.
Yeah, so like he did. So this pepper is so potent that even the juice, if it gets on your hand, will light your ass up. Like this dude was like just shooting out liquids out of every orifice, eyes, nose, everything, just short of butthole. Probably because we're in public and all that shit is happening. But like I'm wondering if this pufferfish toxin is the same way. Like if, for example, like it squeezes, like you squeeze out some poison accidentally and it gets on like I know your hand. Can you wash your hands and be good to go? Or is it like just so you don't realize it and then you don't I don't know you wipe your eyes and all of a sudden you become Nick Fury and have to wear an eye patch?
So I feel like when like when I had said that all they have to do is, well, okay, I don't want to say all they have to do. When I said that they wash the toxins out, would it just be like that? Like you just wash your hands and it kind
Dude,
of just
the
goes
lack of
away?
clarity on this is making me scared, bro. Like the fact that we don't know if washing it actually makes it safe is something we should be worried about. Like if, like for example, if I'm the chef, and well, if you're the chef, and I just asked you that question, and you gave me that response, like, yeah, basically, I think so. I am slapping that dish off the table. Like
No,
hell,
man, I think I still want to do it, man. This I don't know. It's just something about like, yeah, man. I mean, if I eat it, it may or may not contain poison. It just I don't know. And not that I've ever eaten poison, but just it's just cool, like just like, hey, I'm playing. You're literally playing with your food.
I feel like there are almost bigger thrills that are more worthwhile. Like one thing I've always wanted to do, right? Well, at least back in the day, was I saw the first time I ever saw this was in one of my favorite movies of all time, James Bond Skyfall. At the beginning of the movie opens with him like he is shit faced, probably like 2 in the morning. He's at a bar in where I believe is somewhere in South America. Keep forgetting it's either South America or Mexico. Cut long story short, they have this thing called the Scorpion Challenge. So pretty much what you do is you have a small. For those of you that don't know much about scorpions, is that the smaller the scorpion, the more poisonous. Ironically enough. So you have a scorpion on one hand, and then you have a shot on the other, right? So what you do is you literally just you have the scorpion still staying in your hand, and your hand is raised in the air, and you take shots of whatever alcohol, whatever your poison is,
Mm.
tequila, vodka, whatever. So as you get drunker and drunker, your hand gets less stable. Obviously, you start getting a little bit of the shakes, right? You know, as we all do, we get a little fucked up. It's kind of the world seems like it's moving around a little bit quicker and all that, right?
Mm.
So the thing is, the scorpion itself is sensitive to touch. So as you start shaking, what the risk of what goes up? Of you getting stung. So pretty much, it's like one of those like machismo challenges where it's like once you know, obviously, you know, like the whole point is like pretty much just take as many shots as you can, and then once you know, I guess you say you chicken out or bail out, you just toss the scorpion off, but you have to cover it with the shot glass. So if you just toss it off your hand and you're like, oh shit, you just toss it off your hand, it doesn't count. You don't win the challenge. The challenge is to toss it onto whatever the bar counter or whatever, and put the shot glass that you're drinking out of, on top of the scorpion. See, that to me sounds like a challenge worth risking your life over. Eating a puffer fish and dying for $50 does not.
See, yeah, okay. When you put it like that, I think I would do that, but I feel like I would do maybe 2 shots and be like, yeah, I'm done. And then I would cap it and then go about my way to eat this puffer fish. That's what
Yeah.
I would do.
What's the better flex, man? Can you imagine you're telling a story like this one time I was in Mexico, man, I had a scorpion in one hand and a shot of tequila in the other. I just kept ripping those things until I was like, yeah, I'm done. Threw the scorpion on the counter, then put a shot on top of it. Or I went to this restaurant one time in Japan, ate a poisonous fish. I didn't die. The end.
Yeah, but see, you have to frame it as, hey, I went to Japan and I almost died. You may have not even, the
False
fish may have been
advertising, my
fine.
friend. That is false advertising.
Look, it's not, well, let's just say each fish may or may not contain that toxin. So that way it's not false advertisement because it may or may not have it. You never know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess, man. I give that flex a C minus.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a passable flex, but barely, bro,
Yeah.
barely.
Okay. Okay.
But you know, all right. So let's go to another one. Let's go to something a little intense. So I got something for you guys that is actually kind of surprisingly where this comes from. You guys won't guess. So it's called jellied moose nose, and it's exactly what it sounds like. So pretty much what Canadians have been doing is that like so the description goes as nose isn't exactly the choice cut, right? But that hasn't stopped some adventurous Canadians from experimenting with nasal gastronomy. Gastronomy. I can't pronounce that word.
Gastronomy.
I've been out of school for a while, guys. I might be slowly getting more and more done. But by boiling them, they boil. So I guess they're boiling the nasal passage of a moose, and they spice it up with onions and spices, and they remove the hair, and then they they cover it in broth, which sets into a jelly, and they serve it. That sounds disgusting, and that sounds like violent diarrhea.
So I'm gonna do puffer fish, jelly goose nose. Is that what you said? Or
Jelly
moose
moose
nose?
nose.
Moose
Moose
nose.
nose. Yeah.
And I'd probably do balut after that. So balut. See, I don't know. Like,
See, the
is
puffer
that
fish is like a flex. It's like the puffer fish is there's danger to it. So it's almost like sexy. It's like I almost died. The moose, this one you're not gonna die. It's just gross, you know? Like
would that? I feel like that would be kind of like eating like the cow tongue. Not that I've ever eaten cow tongue, but like I feel like
I,
you know.
I don't know, but cow tongue's delicious, bro. I mean, like
Mm,
honestly, like I kid you not, like if you don't cow tongue, you don't know it's cow tongue. That's the thing. Like there's certain like I guess parts of the body that cooked properly and you mixed, with spices and cheeses and all that.
mhm,
Because I ate that in a taco, and I had no idea. Like the person that gave it to me told me afterwards, like, "Hey, by the way, that was cow tongue." I was like, "What?" If you
mhm.
had told me beforehand, I would have already formed. I would have started tasting the texture of the bumps on on the tongue. I would have started forming this whole horrific thing in my head and not have eaten it. But I crushed two of them, and then afterwards I was like, "Huh, all right." And now I can actually eat it, even knowing that. But like with this
Mm.
jellied moose nose, man, like if you see, all right. So to describe what it looks like Jello, like old school Jello, and then like a bunch of just random disgusting things in it. Because I think they removed their whole nasal passage and they just put it in this broth and then they just serve it.
So I was gonna ask, do you think they like clean out the nose before they do it, or do they have like all like the boogers and stuff in it too?
Maybe they remove the hair, so I'm assuming they're cleaning it out.
Mm.
That just sounds like some of these things sound like they became delicacies, but upon their like creation, it wasn't a good situation. You're like, oh man, I'm starving to death, or we're in the middle of the woods.
Oh,
Like some of these don't sound like ideas that people came up with other than in extreme situations. Like, are you I guess if I'm a chef, is the first thing I'm going to think of be like, ah man, I wonder what I can make into an interesting dish. Let me go ahead and try these. Rip that nose out of that animal and then put it in some broth and sell it for like $500. Like I think some of these things are like people realize they won't die from eating them, and then they just started selling them, and you're like, hey, let's just say it's a delicacy.
So I thought so when you mentioned it, I thought it was literally like a moose or a moose nose, like the actual nose in some type of gelatin. But it looks like it's like spam, like a moose spam.
No, yeah, well, you see what I'm talking about, right? Like it's almost like brownish. Is that? Are we looking at the same thing?
Yeah, I just typed in
Yeah,
jellied moose nose on Google, and it looks like
yeah,
it's like a spam. Like I feel like I would eat spam before I would eat this.
yeah, dude. It just does not. It just doesn't look like a good. Yeah, it doesn't look like
Mm.
a thing to eat. Like it's not even delicious. At least some of these other things, as much as they may be something that's disgusting, they don't look unappealing. Like if I look at the white ant eggs, they could arguably pass as rice. But this looks like dog shit
See,
beyond that.
I don't man. If you're like drunk and you're like looking at it from afar, it kind of looks like meatloaf.
True. Yeah,
You know, it kind of
you're
looks
one of
like
the right now one actually. Yeah.
yeah. So if you like do whatever you got to do for meatloaf, like you just add some potatoes, man. I don't know. You didn't tell again this whole thing. Like if you didn't tell me that it was moose nose, and I'm like, oh damn, I'm really hungry. What do we have in the fridge? And I'm like, oh damn, when did you make that meatloaf? He'll be like, I don't know, man. I just
I
made it.
wonder. I wonder would the smell give it away? Like, would
Uh,
you? That could be it, man. Because like going back to you and your Scooby Doo nose, man.
yeah.
Like you might be able to pick up on that smell and be like, wait a minute, this does not smell like.
Well, luckily for me, I haven't sniffed like a moose yet, so I don't know what it smells like. So, but I
True.
feel like it would
Well,
like meatloaf has a distinct smell. So if
have you ever smelled something that smells foreign? Like for example, like not foreign in the sense of like a foreign country, but something that like it's not a catalog smell that you've ever smelled. Like for example, if
mm,
I couldn't tell you what a turtle smells like. So if I smelled something that smells like a turtle, my brain would be like, "What in the hell is that?" This
mm,
regardless of the package, right? So I'm
mm,
assuming the same thing would apply to this kind of meal, where it's like even though it looks like meatloaf, I've never
mm,
seen like you said, you've never smelled a moose. So
mm,
when you smell that, would you be like, "This does not smell like anything I've ever smelled before"?
yeah.
Like that would be the red flag. You'd be like, "What the hell?"
Hmm. See, there are some things that I feel like it's not like it's gonna sound really weird, but if my friend told me that if you smell your dog's paws, they smell like Doritos. Like
Your
just
friend is weird shit, bro. Because I've never,
it does.
never
It's no, it does. It really does smell like Doritos. Like I went to go smell Levi's paws when I
yeah.
first got them. They smell. I can't remember if they first smell like Doritos, but
All right, dude.
like recently I did it, and they smell like Doritos or Fritos, whichever one.
Well, let me ask you this though: what if you never, like for whatever reason, you've never smelled Doritos? When you smell
Mm,
the dog's paw, are you gonna be like, "These smell like chips"?
no.
See,
Yeah, that's
oh
true.
no, bro.
Well, no,
Guys,
I just wanted to tell everyone that
2020, we accept all things, but come on, man.
I don't know. I just wanted to say that I smelled my dog's paws. Is that weird? Is that a weird flex?
I mean, I think you're just bros with your dog, bro. If I had a
Yeah.
dog smelling his paws, I'd be like, "What's up, man? Let me smell your
Yeah.
hand," and I'll let him smell mine too, or he or
Uh,
she, whatever.
All right. So the last one that we have is it's called civet coffee. And for those that don't know,
It's my favorite.
it's in Indonesia. It's the rarest, most expensive gourmet coffee in the world. So it goes anywhere from $100 to $600 a pound, or $35 to $100 a cup. And so how it's made is there's an Asian animal called a palm civet, and it kind of looks like if a cat and a raccoon fucked. So they have like a little like cattish, raccoonish, whatever it is. Anyway, so they eat up this like coffee. It's called coffee cherries. And then somehow in like when they're eating it and digesting it, all the enzymes kind of ferment it, and it gives coffee like a special aroma. So what happens is after that, they just shit it out, and when it comes out, it looks like a payday bar. So for those that eat payday bars, you're never going to want to like eat a payday bar again, because you're going to think of, well, at least for me, at least I don't really eat payday bars, but it looks like a civet poop. And they somehow, they just get these beans and people sell them and buy them, and I feel like this would be on top of my list. I'm not a coffee like connoisseur, but I feel like I would want to try this.
I feel like you have a moral obligation to drink some doo doo coffee, man. I feel like that's something that I actually, ironically enough, I think I could get past that one. And I'm a guy that doesn't even pick up dog poop. Like, I once
Mm,
dated a girl that like her dog just like would crap everywhere. Sorry, guys. Guy's driving his Mustang at 1,000 miles an hour for no reason. But I once dated a girl that like her dog pooped a lot, like all the time. I know all dogs poop, but this dog was like the king of just diarrhea, right?
mm,
I don't like feces at all. I don't like the way it smells. I don't like the texture. I don't like anything. So I won't go near it. But for some reason, I feel like this coffee probably wouldn't even taste like it's been in like crap at all.
yeah, I don't think it would either. There's no way that it sells for that much and it tastes like ass. Like it's it's got to be it's got to be some like top tier shit, you know?
It has to, man. Like if you're gonna sell it for that much, man, like it definitely has to taste some level of good, you know?
Yeah. Uh,
It has to. Like,
is this something that you eat with like some cake? Like you're like, hey honey, we got some cake. You want some poop
cake
coffee?
and PC's coffee.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, man, I guess like we'll just let these people decide on what they think about it, guys. So, well, I guess you guys, we have given you guys a pretty diverse culinary palette. If you guys feel pretty adventurous, at least guys know what foods to go out there and attempt if you're brave.
Yeah, let us know which one you guys would try the most out of all these and which one you would stay clear of no matter what. And
Exactly. Like, let us know the ones that, like, for example, like, let's put it this way: if you had, like, let's say, for example, I'm giving you $100. Which one for $100 you would like F it up, and which one for like, for example, like no amount of money you would even eat at all? How about that?
yeah. Yeah. So my picks, I think my top one would be pufferfish. No, I don't know, pufferfish or poop coffee.
I'm the same way. Dude, same pick. I could do the poop coffee only because I think I could convince myself that it wasn't poop coffee. And the puffer fish, I could do it because it's fish. But also, this is also something that I'm thinking of also as well too, dude. Think about this one. Because didn't you say that for the puffer fish that like you eat portions of the meat that have small amounts of poison?
Yeah.
So if you ate that, right, you drop a deuce for whatever reason. Let's say you have to shit outside in the woods. If an animal
Uh,
eats your feces, is that poop now poisonous?
but wait, so then this whole thing also, like, how do they know how much poison? They don't, how do they measure it? Like, how do they know how much is enough? Like, what if they're like, oh, that's a little too much and you died? Like,
Who died for them to know that? Did we just
well,
stumble on a mystery, bro?
I think that's, we got to go to Japan to test this out
We gotta,
now.
we gotta go, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna go and risk our lives for you guys,
Yeah.
honestly.
This, and
Okay.
if we don't make another episode after we go to Japan, then you know why.
Yeah, you watch people be like, these idiots went and risked their lives for $50.
They
So
actually went to Japan and actually risked their lives for $50.
that's just how dedicated we are to bringing you guys the answers to these questions that you need to know the answers to, guys. So
All right. Well, like I said, everyone stay safe and eat eat some puffer fish, I
I
guess.
guess, or drink some doo doo coffee.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Stay safe.